So day 2 of functions, notes 8. We're going to be working more with function notation. And just remember that y equal x plus 2 is the same thing as f of x equals x plus 2. A table of values for this function is listed to the right. There are many things you can do with a table. You can list the ordered pairs. So like the ordered pair here, you could go -3, -1. -2, 0, 0, 2, 1, 3. You could also plot the points and draw a line with arrows connecting the points. So -3, -1, that's left 3, down 1. -2, 0 is left 2. 0, 2 is from the origin up 2. And then 1, 3 would be right 1, up 3. And then draw a line, connect arrows. That's not the best line. Let me see if I can do a little bit better. Go through the dots and with an arrow there. I actually hit every point. Number 3, identify the domain. So that would be all the x values. And remember, we put them in order from least to greatest, which they already are in the table. So -3, -2, 0, 1. Identify the range would be the y values, and they are also in numerical order. So it'd be -1, 0, 2, and 3. Then number 5 says to identify the input. Well, the input is the same thing as the domain, which is the same thing as the x value. So basically, you're just repeating number 3. So -3, -2, 0, 1, and then the output would be your y's. So you're repeating question 4, which is -1, 0, 2, and 3. Number 6 says, and finally, you can list the ordered pairs a different way by using function notation. So you see how it says f of -3 equals -1. This is your x value. All right, so this is like the ordered pair -3, -1. So then here you have f of -2 equals 0. So that's your x value. So it'd be -2, 0. So then if x is 0, your y value according to the table is 2. And now if your y value right here is 3, your x value would be 1 from the table. So that's how we can identify those. And then over here it says when calculating the function of a number, what we're going to do is you're going to use the number as the input. So on number 7, for the function f of x equals 2x minus 3, find the function when x is -4. So right there, we're using this function, this equation, 2x minus 3. So 2 times -4 is -8 minus 3. And same signs, add and keep. So when x is -4, the y value is -11. You can continue to fill in the following input values by completing the table. So find f of 5. So 5 is your x. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a 5 here. So 2 times 5 is 10. 10 minus 3 gives you 7. So we put the 7 over here. Then find f of 7. So we're going to go 2 times 7 minus 3. So that'll be 14 minus 3, which is 11. So we'll have the order pair 7, 11. And then on letter C, we have f of 10. So we've got 2 times 10 minus 3. So 2 times 10 is 20, minus 3 gives us 17. So therefore, we have the order pair of 10, 17. We could also, have an area right here where you can plug that into your Inspire calculator, and you can just kind of read through those and know how to put that in the table. So you can take that time, you can pause this and take the time and practice it in the calculator, or you can wait till we get done with the notes and then go back and practice. But that is a very handy function to have at your fingertips on the calculator. All right, number 8 says find the range values for f of x equals 2x minus 4, given that the domain is -1, 0, and 3. So basically, what you need to be looking at, we're going to be doing basically the same thing that we did up on problem 7. So you were given the x values and you just had to find the y values. We can do this by hand, or you can even use the calculator function in that box there. So if we have 2 times -1 minus 4, so that's -2 minus 4, which gives you same signs, add, and keep the negative. And then if we have 0, well, 2 times 0 is 0. So basically it's 0 minus 4, which would be -4. And then 2 times 3 is 6. So 6 minus 4 is 2. Therefore, the range is, and again, these are already listed in order from least to greatest. All right, so then on the next ones, I just want you to try these on your own. So you might want to pause it right now and see how well you can do on your own, and then come back and see how you did. So right now, it says find f of -3. So I'm going to go -3 times 3 plus 1. So that's -9 plus 1, which is same signs, add and keep, different signs, subtract. Take the sign of the higher, then you'll be exact. So that's what I did. So I subtracted 1 from 9 and got 8. The larger number is 9, and it is a negative. All right, so then I have the function of -4. So when x is -4, so that's -3 times -4 plus 1. So that's 12 plus 1, which gives you 13. It says now write them as ordered pairs. So we would write 3, -8, and -4, 13. Then on problem 10, it says, given the function of n equals 2n squared plus n minus 6, find when n is 3. All right, so we would have to, by hand, again, you can always put this in your calculator, we're going to put 3 in place of n. Every place that you see an n, you're going to put a 3. So here we have to do our order of operations. We have to use that. So that's going to be using your exponent. So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 2 is 18. So we're going to have 18 plus 3 minus 6. 18 plus 3 is 21. And 21 minus 6 gives us 15. Okay, all right, so 11. Find g of -3. So remember, it really doesn't matter what letter is in front at all. G of x, h of x, f of x, it doesn't matter. But this is our x value. So we're going to put it right there. So we're going to go 8 minus 4. And then I always put what I'm substituting in parentheses, -3, and I square it. So now what we have to do is use our order of operations. So we're going to have to square that. So -3 squared is 9. Okay, so we're going to have 8 minus 36, which gives us Same sign, add and keep, different sign, subtract. Take the sign of the higher, then you'll be exact. So that's the 36 is the higher number, and it has a minus sign in front of it, so it's negative 28. All right, then on number 12, it says to find the range. So we're not doing anything different. We're still given the domain, so you're still plugging those in. And this is, again, real helpful if you can go back and use that box in your calculator. And then you can put that equation in and you can find your x values. It's pretty simple. But I'm also going to show you by hand. So basically, we're going to put a -1 in place of x and solve it, a 0 in place of x and solve it, and a 2 in place of x and solve it. So we would have -3 times -1 plus 5. So it's 3 plus 5, which is 8. Okay, so that's one of them. Then we have -3 times 0 plus 5. So that would be 0 plus 5, which is 5. So that's another one. I'm not going to put them over here in the range yet because I want to put them in order from least to greatest. And then I have -3 times 2 plus 5. So this is -6 plus 5, which is -1. So now I'm going to put them in order from least to greatest. So it's basically just going to be backwards. -1, 5, and 8. All right, so let's kind of look at some real world applications. It says read the graph, fill in the table, then list the domain and range. All right, so it looks like we're looking at this scatter plot here. So we go right 1 up 100. So this would be 1 and 100. Right 2 up 200. So 2 and 200. Right 3 up 200. So 3 and 200. Right 4 and up 300. So 4 and 300. Right 5 up 500. Right 6 up 600. And right 7 up 700. All right. And so then we're going to list the domain and range. Now, just as a little reminder, right over here, domain and range values cannot repeat when listing them. Cannot. So it looks like our domain values, they're all different. So we won't have a problem. Just list those in order from least to greatest, which is what they already are in the table of values. Okay, and then your range, it looks like the 200s repeat. So we're just going to write that one time. But then again, this is in order from least to greatest. So it'll be 100, 200, and then 300, 500, 600, and 700. So there was a weekly attendance at Trout Lake State Park. So you can see probably started in the summer and maybe increased over time. All right, let's look at number 14, the last one. It says, which of these choices could be the range values from the graph? Okay, remember that range is your y values. So just an easy way to do this, we can take the lowest point and draw a line over to the y value on the y-axis. And it looks like it's around 75, 76. So we're looking at something that's around 75, 76, which is, it looks like it's right here, because then when we go to the next one, it's going to be just under 150. Okay. So it could be, I guess, 150. It looks like it could actually be more like 130. So maybe this one that looks like it's above 75, maybe it's actually 90. So then this could be more like 130. And then, ooh, look, this one goes right across to 225, which this one does too. And then we have 300 and then dot, dot, dot. Both of these have 300. But I really think that letter C is probably closest because this really isn't right at 175 and it's not right at 150. So it's above 75, which would be 90, and then 130, it's below 150. So I would guess that letter C would be the most accurate on that one there.